Okay, in this section we are going to look at games in the car. Games in the car really are a great way to improve your children's English, especially during a long car journey where children have a tendency to get bored. There are actually a number of good games that can be played in the car, but I'm going to present those particular games that my family now only associate with English, and I will run through them in the age order that we first introduce them to our children. I Spy is probably the most well-known car game in the English language, and is a game that we actually started playing with my eldest daughter when she was just 2 years old, so before she could spell. We created an age-appropriate variant of the game which was based around the colour of an item rather than the first letter of its name. So, for example, if the item that was spied was the sky, the phrase would be, "I spy with my little eye something that is blue." For a tree, it would be, "I spy with my little eye something that is brown and green." When my daughter was a bit older, we started to play the more classic variant of the game, namely, "I spy with my little eye something beginning with S." Staying on the I Spy theme for a bit, there is a totally unrelated car game based around a series of books called the I Spy books, which were very popular in the 70s and 80s, and which Michelin, of the tyre fame, have brought out a new version of them. You can find them on Amazon. I'll include a link in the supplemental materials. And these I Spy books are very popular with older children when in the car, and are available through Amazon for the price of a cup of coffee. So they come highly recommended for long car journeys and another great way of improving their English proficiency. Okay, the second game that we play in the car only in English, and it was the second game that we introduced to our children, is the I Went to the Zoo game. And we first introduced this game to our children at about the age of 4 to 5. The game is based around everyone in the car saying what they saw on a fictitious trip to the zoo. The game begins with the youngest person in the car saying, "I went to the zoo and I saw a," and saying what animal that they saw. For example, a lion. Then the next youngest repeats what the youngest child had said and adds their own animal. So, for example, they would say, "I went to the zoo and I saw a lion and a giraffe." Then the next person carries on saying what they saw, and this is repeated until someone cannot remember the animals that were previously said and in the correct order. As well as practicing animal vocabulary, this game also practices the simple past tense. You can find out more about this game in the ESL worksheet at the zoo, which is included with this course, as this particular game works very well as a warm-up activity within a classroom environment. The final car game that we shall look at today, which is very popular with my girls now that they are older, is 20 questions. In this game, the youngest person in the car simply thinks of something. Now it should be an animal, a vegetable, or a mineral. And then the rest of the passengers in the car have 20 questions to try and guess what it is that they are. Questions have to be asked in such a way that the youngest child can answer yes or no. For example, an obvious question would be, "Are you an animal?" If the youngest child had thought of a tree, for example, he or she would answer no, and then the next person would ask a yes-no type question. As the name of the game suggests, the group have 20 questions to find out what it is that the youngest child has chosen. Once the game has been won or lost, the next youngest child gets to choose and think of something that they are. This game is obviously requiring a certain standard of English, but it can be easily adapted so that the least proficient in English is able to both play and enjoy the game.